My mom always gave me confidence that I was somebody, so I wasn't that it wore on my shoulders or anything like that. It was like, if you didn't want to know me, I don't care. You're missing out. So
Sure.
that certainly helped me when we're getting ready to go in someplace to eat, and you don't know whether they're going to let you come in or not.
It's a fine day for baseball here at Carson Field on this sunny Saturday. UC will be playing the St. Louis Billikens today, and they'll have their hands full. The players look ready now, so let's get this action started. Now, up for the Cincinnati Bearcats. He's batting left at .262 on the season. It's number 22, Darryl Allen.
Yep, that's me. Up to bat again. Took me a while, but I love this game. It's not just a game, but mostly the competition. Most of these guys think they better than me because, as that new Stevie song says, I'm a poor man's son from across the railroad tracks. Even so, I grew up in a packed house with both parents and 5 brothers. 5. I had to run to the breakfast table faster than I run these bases just to get some milk and bread in the morning. Sorry!
We used to play stickball on the playground of the school.
Yeah.
So we used like a broomstick and a small rubber ball to play with. And so I have a brother that's like 2 years older than I am, so I always wanted to play with his friends. So we would go to the schoolyard and play stickball all day, and then we'd play tag football sometimes on the concrete. So I was always a little ahead of myself because I played with my older brother and his friends all the time.
Right.
Get your head in the game now. Come on. Baseball comes easy for me, but I play it all. Basketball, football, and this. Probably wouldn't play anything, but early on I learned that my older brother, that Malcolm, just wouldn't shut up. Had to be the best. Well, in his mind anyway. I just stuck with everything enough to beat him. And once you beat your blood, it's a whole nother team. Oh!
Even my older brother, when we would play TAF, he would hope that there was a guy named Walter Johnson, as I remember, who played with the Browns later. And they also had another running back named Cleo Edwards that played, I want to say, with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And then they had this other running back who actually played college football with me named Al Nelson, who later played for the Eagles. So they had like 3 guys in their backfield that later were pro football players. And my older brother was hoping that they would do me in because I was kind of an irritant to him.
Yeah.
Because I would hang around with his friends, and my goal in life was to beat him doing any and everything that he could do. And I guess Corey knows all about that.
All right, let's get serious. On the ball. Anyway, it helps that we live in a society where they could take everything away, force us poor kids to play in the streets with boomsticks and rubber balls, making this game like swinging at a bowling ball with a club. Speaking of which, ooh, he laid that one up there.
Allen scorches one in the right field for a base hit. He runs and rounds first.
Because we played so much stickball and we could hit a little rubber ball with a broomstick, when we played the kids our age, like 12, 10, we would be ahead like 30-0 because everybody would they would just beat the baseball all over the park.
Coon, come on, Coon. Get on base, Coon.
Man, you better be glad I need to stay in this game and don't have time to get thrown out for fighting. Plus, all that name calling ain't gonna get him anywhere. Not when Malcolm used to call me white boy because I went to Hughes and then go to Taft with him and his friends. I would say Hughes was a good move, though. Got to play against old Malcolm, put him in his place. UC, though, hasn't been any easier. Went over to this Western Hills club with a recruit from Maine the other day with my Bearcat team jacket on and still got stopped by the door. Talking about, if you ain't with the band, you ain't getting in.
Anyway, get back to the baseball UC. So we took our southern trip, and my mom didn't want me to go because she was raised in the South. So she said, Darryl, why do you have to go on the baseball trip? I said, Mom, I'm playing on the baseball team. It's a college team. What could happen? Coach Sample always he was worried about me. He would say, why can't you just stay in? And I said, well, I want to go out like the rest of the players. And so he was like a nervous Nelly because I would go out by myself, but I couldn't go where the other players were going. And then that night we decided to go to some place, a bar, a restaurant or something. So as we walked in, I was walking in behind some of the other players, and the door guy says, hey, you can't come in here. And I said, why? He said, well, because we had your kind in here before, and we're just not integrating. So they put me out. And so from that experience, I kind of learned that I was going to have to go out in the evenings by myself, especially as we traveled through the South, like Southern Illinois and Missouri and those kind of teams that we played. I would just go look for the railroad tracks and just go to the other side of the railroad tracks and have a ball.
Come on, big monkey, steal that base. Know you want to. That's what y'all good at anyway, right? Stealing?
Better be glad.
Go on.
I don't want to stay on this base for too long or this dude will get decleated. I play football too. Lucille told me playing with some of these fools would be dangerous. No one got my mouth from her. But I will say, nothing was as bad as that spring trip to Rollins College in Jacksonville. Wouldn't even let me party with them or stay at the team hotel with them. But just so, I had some backup. Pointing out number 25, the Jewish guy on our team. And they made him leave with me. Instant roommates. We had to go by the railroad tracks to find a accommodating club for some action. At least that club treated us like family. Anyway, as soon as that picture sets again, I'm gone. G-O-N-E, gone. He said, leg up. No.
One of our teams would come out and play the best team, usually like a Western Hills or something, a Mount Healthy. And there was, they had a guy named Pete Rose who was a little older than I am. And Pete Rose used to, whenever we played this team, we would lose to them. We hated it. And when I went to college, I still had a distaste for Pete Rose, and I never wanted to think he was as good as Jimmy Wynn was. But as a more mature man, I have to acknowledge that Pete Rose was one hell of a baseball player.
Told you. Week on. And here I am on second, halfway home. I love this game, but getting here hasn't been easy. I already told you the Hughes High School thing, but that was just the beginning. My boys were telling me to just do what most blacks do these days to play ball. Join the Phillies minor league team. Nah, I got plans bigger than that. Bigger things to do. I want this education, a degree. Not that I love academia though. I just had numbers on my brain. I'm gonna be an accountant. Since scholarships is on that side of the fence, my coach advised me to play football. And I was going pretty well until I broke my leg on that goal line tackle. After that, I got red-shirted and told UC I was playing baseball, which was a long shot because that's not what they let us do right now. They wouldn't let the big O do that. Of course, he did pretty well with B-ball. But I guess he still wasn't me. Come on, Jerry. Pull that ball through that hole like we talked about.
Monday, they called me into the coach's office, and he said, well, coach wants to get an extra year out of you. And I said, well, I'm not going to play. I'm going to play baseball. Well, I was just bluffing because I had a football scholarship, and it wasn't like I could just play on my own unless I wanted to pay.
Yeah.
So Coach Studley agreed that if I would come back and play my redshirt year, which would be my 5th year, he would let me play baseball in the spring.
Okay.
So I agreed to do it. So I was like the first black baseball player.
Did you ever have any interaction with Oscar Robertson? I know you came to UC a couple years after he left, but I think I heard a story about him playing baseball.
Here's one time. One year, they needed a fill-in, and I wasn't on Oscar's team, but I was on the team that Oscar was playing, a 5-on-5.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I can't believe I'm here playing a pickup basketball game with the big O.
Yeah.
And you quickly realize that you were in a different league of basketball when you're playing against him.
Sure.
and even though I was like 5th in the city in scoring in basketball, it was absolutely no competition. He was just that good.
Sometimes Jerry can get distracted in his own mind, but I'm glad he's staying focused today. Everyone needs someone to keep them focused. Well, at least to remind them what they're capable of. For the most part, my voice is my motivation. But I have to say, if it wasn't for Coach Sample's voice in my ear, I would have missed out on a lot of things. I had my dad growing up, but whether it's due to work or my mom splitting up, he couldn't always be there. And that's when life situations put you in a place where you have to reach outside your family to receive the help that you need. Now that's how you bring it home. Whew. And they say you can't go home again. Lord, I hope not, because I have a lot to do. And it definitely be outside those few blocks on Day Street. I'm gonna be an accountant, a CPA at a big company. I mean, why not? I love numbers, and most of life is a numbers game. I'm gonna see the world and smile while I do it. Still, I'm never gonna forget where I'm from. Elle and Lucy did all right getting me to this point and teaching me the value of family, hard work, and giving back. They won't want for nothing. Well, it shouldn't between the 6 of us. Maybe I'll fool around buying them a house one day. And maybe I can also make a mark and help change this world too. In small ways. Even so, my sons don't have to go through some of the things that I did just because we look different. One can only hope, right?
I was the only black baseball player even in high school, because Hughes was basically a white school.
Yeah.
And then, as I said, 20 years later or so, when my youngest son was playing at George Washington, we used to travel to a lot of his games, and there were just virtually no black baseball players in college.
Right.
Because it's economic, and part of it is you get to see pro basketballers and pro footballers, and you think, well, I'm going to be one.
Yeah.
That's your dream, even more so than doing well in school, actually. And so it's not going to work out because there's only so many people that actually make the pros.
Right.
Oh, look at me, like I still don't have a game to play. Let me get back to this dugout real quick. Still, let me take a look around. Soak it all in. I don't ever want to forget this feeling of scoring, helping my team, and planning for my life. It all starts here, today, April 16th, 1966.
Shoulders back, pressing on, living my life in black and white. Head held high, standing strong, never letting anyone kill my vibe. Driving on, no matter how hard, no blueprint for this kind of life. Persevere and press ahead, don't let anyone stop you now. You can blaze trails because triumph's in you. Trust and believe that it will happen for you. I know I'm strong, and my mother knew. You've got to work hard, but you can be somebody. Set your goals, take your time, never feel less than who you are. Choose the path right for you, let them see your passion. From first base to the outfield, whether ball field or in the boardroom, no matter where your home advantage lies. I'm sure to the challenge you'll rise. There's a fire in you. Hard work and perseverance can feed your passion. Let it motivate you to shine, and you will triumph over trials, and you can blaze trails. Work hard, stand strong, and blaze trails. When life gets hard, do what? Blaze trails. When they say no, we have to blaze trails. When it's never been done, well then, blaze trails. You can be somebody.